Hello and welcome to another fine evening of UKBBL football. I am joined tonight not just by Phil but also by Little Wing. Hello, guys.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
Taking a break from my corn team painting.
How's the painting coming along?
Well, depends on the roster I take, really. So there's
So,
one roster that needs more models.
yes, 11 players. That's all you need. It's just anything
I
is
mean,
is,
it's
is waste.
not with corn. You need more than that, from my experience.
I'm a value 8. It's magical. It holds to everything, right? That's how it goes.
That's again not my experience with corn. Everything else does. Armor 8 with everything else apart from corn.
The magic. It's almost like if they go into close combat, it matters than what you got in armor.
Yeah.
So, tonight we are lucky enough that we will actually have the grand final of the UKBBL season 55. And we have two very good coaches and two very good teams that will be facing off here in 10 minutes. So, guys, what are your predictions? What do you think we're going to get from this lovely match? I'll put the teams up here just so you have a little
Little Wing, you can go first.
Well, I don't know. I don't know whether I've got my bash coach hat on. That is a nice ghoul that Galentio's got, but that mummy still really worries me from Ugnash's point of view. I think, I don't know, normal time, maybe Galentio wins. If it goes to overtime, I favour Ugnash. And I'm going to sit on the fence like that.
So, just to be reversed.
I'm not going to sit on the fence. I'm going to say Galentio in overtime.
Ooh.
Oh.
So I think they'll score one each, but the regen will help the undead, and they'll just wear the orcs down eventually.
So
yeah, it's going to be interesting. Sorry, go guys.
No, I was going to say I think on Ganesh is this is at least my prediction. His biggest chance is if he's taking what it looks like from the inducement 150. He's taking a wizard. He's hoping to blast that goal, pick up the ball, and if that succeeds, I don't think we're going to go to overtime, and I think on Ganesh is going to win. If that doesn't succeed, I think attrition-wise, the Orcs is just going to slowly disintegrate. That regen and four mighty blows on pieces that will hurt you every turn, and yeah, unless Nuffle does something, I was gonna say really nasty. I think that's my prediction.
Yeah, that's the thing. I wonder. I mean, I've become obsessed with that mummy. I think over the last over the playoffs, but I just wonder how much that piece helps Galentio manage the game, the sort of rhythm and tempo of the game. And Ugnash can't deal with that, as Andy couldn't in the semi-finals. I just wonder how much that's going to take a toll over 16 turns. I know it's one piece. I know it's movement 3. But Orcs do struggle against Undead. But we shall see.
Yeah, I think at least this is at least in my head. I see it as a tree with movement free. It's one of those pieces. I'm not gonna fight with it because it's just wasting my time and energy, and I will just have to accept that it is there. Like that is a piece on the board that it will just stay there, and I think that's actually what Andy might have. Why he ended up taking so much attrition is that he tried to take it on. He tried to take that fight to that mummy and try to see if he could win. And I think it's classic one of those pieces you just have to ignore and just have it waddle around the field doing whatever it does. I think the ghoul cannot be ignored, however.
No, I was going to say with the mummy, basically, you want to ignore it until you can possibly isolate it on the sideline. You want to then knock it down and then babysit it. It's probably what you want to try and do. But I think that's reliant then on Galentio making a positional mistake, and Galentio's too good a coach to do that. So I think he'll do a pretty good job of keeping both those mummies pretty central. Which again is why I don't see an Ugnash is too good to again not score on his offense. which is why I think it's going to come down to overtime. At this level, just the difference is just so minute.
Yeah, like I think I agree with you, and still slightly disagree because like there's 150k team out there, right? Like you can see that in the skills that are on the teams. Like Galentio's team is just skill wise more heavy than the Orcs are, so they need that attrition, not attrition. They need that inducement to do something for them, and whether that be the fanatic and a bomber or chainsaw or something, whatever you go for, that is, I think, is going to be the ticket for Ugnash to swing things his way, because if that doesn't help him, he will be that 150k light, and like you said, like two very good coaches, 150k light is just not not the place you want to be in.
I mean, it is an interesting title in terms of for both teams, but also racers. So, whoever wins this will take the race up to joint fifth in terms of number of UKBBL race titles, joint with Chaos Dwarves, and then only behind the Chosen, Dark Elves, Necro, and Nurgle. So they both move to 4 with a win. From kind of like an underdog story, it would be quite nice to see Ugg win it. He hasn't won, I don't think, a UK BBL title, so it would be quite nice to see Ugg win it. This is probably the best chance he's had since running the Brood back on Blood Bowl 1, and obviously it's just been around a long time, and I think that sort of dedication is worth rewarding from Nuffle. It'd be good to see Nuffle reward him with that, even though he's playing Orcs. But I mean, I know we've said Orcs have been super strong in Blood Bowl 3. They've only won 3 titles, and one of them has been on Blood Bowl 3. So, and that's from yourself, Archangel.
Yeah.
So this is a new era for Orcs in terms of they are regularly getting to the finals. I think what has it been? The last 4 have featured an Orc team. 2 for you, 1 for Ugg, and then did we have another one? Can't remember who's made the finals.
I was just thinking, who was the first one? Probably would it not have been Andy versus someone? No,
Andy never played in the UKBBL final.
No, he always goes out on the semis just like me. Hey, anyways,
it would have been Ceramol.
Yeah, Ceramol. That's a good team too. Good player and a good team.
I think Ceramol played. Did Ceramol play Andy? I think Ceramol played Andy. So you've had an Orc in that final. Galentio beat, I think, you.
I think
in season 53. I want to say beat you.
I think if Ceramol was the first season we had, I think I didn't make it to the playoffs.
You didn't make it in the first season, but I think you did in the second season.
Yeah.
And then obviously third season you won.
Yeah.
But I do think it's interesting to kind of talk about how the racers have kind of stood up.
I think also it's sort of interesting, like you said, like on one hand, like I love the underdog story, so that goes to Ugnash. Like I prefer to see Undead winning, so that goes to the other column. So I'm a little bit torn with what team I should be rooting for. So I'll just do the diplomatic one. I will root for whoever won. I think that's the fair way of doing it.
Yeah, I'm just having a little look, and I'm just looking at pre-Galentio. When was the last time that Undead won a UK BBL title?
I think I did the plaques recently, and I think that's been a fair bit of time.
Oh no, so it would have been 2. So yeah, Undead. I did spot them both. They were fairly early.
Yeah.
So there was one in season 7, and then there was one in season 12. So Anton Lunau and Angus 1903, they were both the winners of Undead in season 7 and season 12, and then basically from season 12 onwards, it was a barren run for Undead until Galentio won it in season 53.
Yeah.
But it is interesting, and I mean, I'd probably, as we said in predictions, I think it's quite likely we're going to see an Orc in this next final. But it's kind of not guaranteed kind of what the other teams are going to be.
No. But I think
the meta is shifting. I do think it is shifting.
Definitely.
Slowly but surely.
I put up the slide that I shared with you earlier. This is the uptick, and you can definitely see how the different divisions, and it's usually more or less down to what season they start in. Like last season, there was a huge uptick in Necro, Norse, and Chaos Chosen, and this season there's a huge uptick again in Undead, Dwarves, Amazons, and Dark Elves. So it's funny to see how like different times that there's like it's both the new stuff coming in, but there's also like a resurgent of like there's 6 dwarves coming in, and until then we only had 1. Like that's that just shows you like how huge a swing that is. Or Chaos Chosen, we had 2 in all of, right?
So you know what, rock paper scissors, the fact of, you know, you're going to have you've got Amazons now in, so you're expecting to see a little bit of a little bit more dodge about. Welcome to all those people who have been watching Alessa's TV.
Yeah.
And have come over and watched a little bit with us. You're watching the grand final of season 55 of the UKBBL. Been running, in case you haven't come across us before, been running since 2009. Blood Bowls 1, 2, and 3, and this final is between Galentio, who you might recognise as an admin over on the OCC, and Ugnash, who I think is a UKBBLer born and bred. So we're just basically waiting for this game to kick off, which should be kicking off in a matter of minutes.
I think both coaches are just getting a final cup of tea before they are starting. I've definitely heard
that's a solid reason, Alessa's, to be cheering on for Ugg. That you know Galentio personally, which is quite fun.
So, but yes, like Bushranger, there is 6 new dwarves team coming in, which is 6 times as many as we have had in previous seasons. So it's a huge uptick, which I think it makes it even more funny.
How many of them stay though after this season when they realise how boring they are? I'm sorry, I know Little Wing's here. I know they're here. I know he's here. I know he's listening.
And you know also I have played quite a bit of dwarves too, right? So you are now in the minority.
I have played them. I have played them. I played them in the OFL, which was for those who don't know about the OFL, it's like an NFL style. Spider runs that league really, really well. You have like free agents and everything, and you can sign 3 free agents. So it's almost like having 3 really good players straight away. It's a really good league, and I would recommend, if they get a space, go and have a little look at that after looking at the UKBBL. Do you want to take the little graphic of our things down so we can see? So what did they go for? Looks like they're taking fungus.
Yeah,
fungus like again. I'm guessing a bomber then also. Yep, bomber.
Yeah, he rolled that against, or not the bomber, but he rolled fungus against you with some success in the semis, not to rub it in.
No, I think it makes good sense. Like we talked about this. Like I think those are valid options. Fireball, for better or worse, is usually the threat more than it's the actual damage that it does in and the bomber and the fanatic is more, how to say, stable. it gives you more dice to rely on for them to do their thing. So I can definitely see why he opted this. I think again for the meta and the rocks paper scissors there needs to be dwarves. Not a lot of them. But there needs to be dwarves. There needs to be
100%,
goblins.
right. Yeah.
I like that he's pushing the players in towards the fanatic to make a lot of hurt of them in a second here. A lot of extra injury rolls.
Too easy.
Very pushy.
Yep. One down for, what is that now? 10 dice? That's pretty bad. At least he got the ball
That
secured.
goal is not on the pitch, though.
No. Now the fanatic, that's working. Let's see if he can keep doing its magic.
Where do you stand, folks, on the old skeleton zombie debate? This is fascinating. Like, I think, is it mathematically they're exactly the same in terms of what you need to remove them?
Yes, if you have no skills fixed into it.
Yeah. It's just really more likely that the skeleton gets his armor broken, so is stunned. But the zombie, if you break his arm, is more likely to go.
That is a bit of a wet cloth thought there. No blitz? That's a bit surprising.
Maybe it's just a case of he didn't like the choice of, you've got that skeleton in the front. You could have come 1, 2, 3 rush blitz onto Fungus, and then Fungus is gone, and you could do that with the super mummy.
So you're thinking it's like a
two dice uphill, turn 1. I'd take that on.
Yeah. The only problem is I don't like my mummy in here being fouled if it goes bad.
Yeah.
Like that is a bit of a pit in here. And if we were to blitz in here, we could have left the player up here, and you can't even access the fanatic. But
So obviously you want to, I mean, get rid of the fanatic is difficult but easy at the same time, right? If you can just commit a bit of resource, it's easier if you've got some strength 5 pieces with block.
Definitely. Or you, I think, no, he's missing from this game, but no, he's there. There is a Dauntless. Not a hugely likely scenario, but it is there. Yeah, we're going for the fragile black block. I think I see a lot of blocks in his future.
Got to cover that ghoul though. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah,
it was looking very open.
Yeah. I must though give that Ugnash also for my in the match with me, like he's good at using the fanatic and protecting it. It's a lot of people sort of leave them on their own, and then they're just easy up grabs.
So if there's any doubt, folks, this is kind of what I'm expecting for the next 8 turns. Sort of things hitting each other, and then someone running it in to the end zone on turn 8, and then I'm expecting the same thing in the next half.
Yeah.
This is why you play elves, folks. That's why you play elves. They're just much more exciting.
It is definitely more exciting to watch. I will definitely give you that. It's tactical in a different way, but it is more entertaining to watch. I will definitely give you that.
I mean, I actually will take back the fact that I'm not saying it's boring. The tactical positioning is quite interesting. You know,
Yeah.
where you choose to push players.
Yeah.
I mean,
Okay.
plans can start to become apparent after a little bit of time.
Oh yeah. I also
I
had
don't
a
like that mummy's got a free. It's basically got a free block on the next turn. On
yeah,
that big
but would you swap it for a KO something? I would.
Oh no! I just
The problem is also like
remember I know he's got 4 players on the bench, but like the Black Orcs are irreplaceable. You need them.
true,
Go and sit a lineman on him or something.
yeah, but I think
But
the
he's
more
on the
problem
other
is
side.
he was already tagged by the mummy, so it's like either you start blitzing it away or something like that, or you have to dodge out and
Well, I mean, you're not dodging with a Black Orc, but well, I mean, you could.
That's a good choice for this.
He's you're not taking a mighty blow on that hit.
true.
I
But
mean, that's the thing that I think about when I've got a player. I'm going, okay, well, do I take a block on it, knowing that that's going to be mighty blow, or do I just throw a dodge at it in hope and know that if when I fail, the armor break is less bad.
I think it's also a
Ineffective
question.
block dice here.
Yeah, it's a lot of pushing going on at the moment. I think it also
Yeah.
comes down to a little bit of you have to like look at the actions, like how many actions. Like if by letting him stand there, you're also soaking up that action. By dodging out, if you fail, now that mummy is free to roam and do whatever it wants, and it might go down and attack something else you do not want to. So it's also sometimes if you have 10 plus armor, you can start looking into that. If you got wood elf armor, don't do this sort of thing. But sometimes you need to soak up those actions and just go like, yeah, it's gonna hurt, but statistically over time, I can soak up those actions. If you're playing Skaven or wood elf something like that, I would not recommend that. That's usually where it goes wrong.
Oh no! I'm like talking when you kind of got like an armor 9, you know,
Oh
you
yeah,
got a human lineman,
yeah.
you know, just throw the dodge at it, see what happens. I mean, it's a 3 up.
Oh yeah.
2 out of 3 times is going to work.
But that's also
That's
where the magic sort
okay.
of swings, right? Because if you compare the elf with the human with the black belt, right? It's 2 plus, 3 plus, 4 plus. It is the same in armor values, also more or less, right? So it's really that dilemma of like, at what point does it become better to, like a word, dodge out of your problems, and at what point is it better to fight your way out
The
of your
assist gonna be
problems?
enough to
And
cover
Yeah.
up on top.
I always find that sort of interesting with humans is that they're sort of like caught in between, that they need to both fight and dodge the way out of problems, and they're not really good at either. But they both,
Yeah.
on the other hand, they're a little bit like lizardmen. They can do both actually.
Yeah.
So
I mean, actually has got an opportunity if he wanted to. I don't think he's going to. He has got an opportunity to lock up this mummy with the lineman if he wants to.
would have
Keeping
I
a
would
block
have
on
pushed
it.
over here.
I mean, I'm assuming. I mean, what is the other decent mummy? Yeah, he's gonna now start swinging down
Yeah, I think we're
his
gonna.
left
Yeah,
because basically that mummy is going to take 2 turns to get over there.
yeah.
Right. So, and now the other mummy's locked up.
Yeah.
You've basically got a free run down that side. And if you can get some distance, the ball's gone from the mummies, which means you're fighting with ghouls and the whites.
Oh yeah. This
Yeah,
is
it's a really nice controlled start from Ugnash here, actually.
yeah.
Mm.
Especially like you said, like these here are much more manageable to fight against with this orc team than this. As soon as this gets into the mix again, it really starts swinging the other way.
Yeah.
Yeah, it needs to get the fanatic
He'll want
over
to go
here.
sideways this time, and
Yeah,
he'll want to go into something. Yeah.
yeah. Be here. Oh, do you go up? Do you go sideways here? That's done. I'll
Take
probably go upwards. Yeah, gotta reroll that. Oh,
Got him. This could be big if he gets something on him.
Yeah.
oh.
Unfortunately not.
Oh, he's going for it.
Yeah, he more or less has to. That
Nice.
position is too exposed.
To be fair, though, what are you going to hit it with?
I would have. Wow, a double going for it. I would have
That's
taken the
aggressive. So
mummies.
you're now
and-
going to put the Black Orc in front of him.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, that's nice.
But he did also survive 2 going for it, so.
And he had to pass the loner as well.
That's quite a mismatch, Bob.
Slam.
No, that weedy fella's gonna get
Let's see,
smacked.
you almost have to blitz over here just to. Wow. Okay. Okay. KO. Gonna
Nice
have that.
KO.
Just soak that up.
Yeah. It's a bit of a shame now because he's going to have to now babysit that mummy potentially with something else. I don't think the half is old enough that you can just let him walk over. By turn 5, he's going to be over there.
Yeah, you don't want to get pinned against the side either.
I think it comes up down to very much what's going to happen here in a second. If he goes down,
Something
yeah,
exciting is about to happen.
then you need to babysit
Keep it
him a
here
little bit
on Cabal
more.
Vision HD.
You can't win this fight straight up now. Oh, is that another removal?
A prone
Ooh.
player
Yeah.
is a dead player.
Yeah,
You always know something bad's happening when the mighty blow comes up, right?
Oh yeah, or especially when you see that waiting for opponent up here, it's because it's unless they have stand firm or sidestep, it is a sign that it's a removal.
That ghoul's about to get punched if it's going to be left there.
I think it won't. But the bigger problem is now it's sort of the orcs. Do you stay the course and continue down this side, or do you think like this modus has been rejected and you sort of have to recalibrate? Like you're too
The removal of the lineman, I think, changes the equation.
Rather than the
That's
again.
yeah, but now we're down to even numbers again.
So this is what I feared from Ugnash's perspective, is he's got a removal, but it's coming straight back.
Yeah, but I think most likely they'll both have 11 players at least until overtime. It's more a question of what players is actually on the field, if anything. Yeah, I'm gonna just clearly going for gonna keep pushing here, and I think with that
100%.
second removal here, that is
It's a
actually
shame.
yeah.
It's a real shame.
Yeah.
Like just when you see an undead coach leave a ghoul, you really want that, don't you?
We talked about this yesterday. It's like the same with the dwarves and everything. Like anything that is hard to get rid of, when you see one of them going down, it's just double satisfying, right? And undead, because of the region, they don't get removed that often. So when you get a chance to get actually something removed, feels double nice, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, pushing and gonna fall.
That Black Orc is going to stay over there. Yeah.
Yeah, this one can shield at least to this
But
one.
actually, to be fair, I mean, it's only a little thing. It is only a little thing. But the fact that that Black Orc has moved forward has now made the journey longer for the mummy. So it's only a tiny thing, but it does make a difference.
Oh yeah.
That Skelly's going to go backwards.
Yeah. Oh, nice done. Yeah, I'm gonna go up and say hi to that mummy.
He needs to get out of this range, though. He needs to go one more. That's not great.
Going for it.
You've got to go here now. Yeah.
Count those teeth, Jim. They'll have to pick
Not
up
up
Yeah,
to
that's
me,
not
but
very
ground in a few seconds' time.
you see, almost you have to go in for it again.
I
Now.
think Fungus is going on this next turn.
He's got it.
Wow, Fungus is definitely carrying his weight well.
Okay.
Both down.
This might be okay. If he takes someone in with him,
Well, he's big, but he's no help now.
no. Disappointing.
I think he done enough for his cost, though. Like it's 80k, you can't expect miracles, and in all fairness, I think he did more than what I thought would have been possible. But it does leave Ugnash one player down again.
However, all his players are in the same place.
AMA, that's correct. There's still a chance that the fungus will be returning. I'm not putting money on it, but he could still.
Your favourite rule, as we know.
And you know what? We actually might see my two favorite rules tonight. Not only can we going to see Archie the Call, we can also see a dead player be turned into a zombie. That is in the middle of a match. That's just always amazing. Yeah, you don't stand for him there now.
Yeah, Mark, that's a good point. It would have held the mummy in place.
Oh, nice.
That's good.
That's nice. Random zombies. That's exactly what you want.
Ooh.
Brave call, rewarded for it. You're pushing up.
I think the thing is now is just you stand that guard up, you move the other blitz around, and you blitz with that tackler on the white, and then you can free him up, or you do something different.
I was going to say you could almost. I want to be greedy and go for that one, but I think that's too greedy.
I mean, another interesting. You've now got a T shape here, so I mean that would have been quite nice to blitz that ghoul, and then essentially push the white further down. That's a reroll.
There we go.
Yep. Both down, very nice.
Ooh.
And exactly what you want. Yep.
Yeah. And forward.
It's not on the one that matters, but it's one that you want.
It's one you want.
See, I would have just liked there. I would have liked to take the blitz on with that blitzer that's sitting at the top, just the block one.
Yeah.
And I'd have then shoved that white just a square further down. Just gives a bit more space. Personally.
Yeah.
This decent mummy though is out of the game.
That player's a little short. Oh no, my mistake. He's on the ground.
I think it's also a question of like, yes, you can hold on to this. You can drag it out a little bit more, but you're probably not going to dragging this out to turn 8.
Yeah, I think he had to take that flank though, because if you were going to go back right again, you were going back into the mummies.
Oh yeah. I think this is definitely the right call for the Orcs, but I'm more. The Undead is probably not going to get the ball this turn or next turn maybe, but it's a question of like, as the Orc players, you want to drag it out to turn 8 as much as possible, right? Because of that super cool, but I don't see them really being able to from this position to drag it out that long.
Yeah.
It is interesting though, where like when I see a one turner, I always, or a decent one turn threat, I actually go, do I actually let them have it? Do I let them have a one turn, or do I give them 2 or 3? Because then I can actually do something about it. Whereas the one turn is just, I mean, Galentio's got 3 rerolls.
Yeah.
He'll do that one. He'll do that one turn.
Yeah,
I mean, I think you're already look at the position now. It's
Galentio's saying go and score.
yeah,
Yeah.
go and score now. And can you hold off? This is what Galentio does so well. He manages the half so brilliantly.
I think you can drag it out for one more turn, but then I think you are that's what I like by Galentio's drive here is like, yes, he's inviting you to score, but he's making the pressure so high for you to
That's a good choice.
the next turn, not just this turn, but the next turn, that you yes, you can probably get away with this next turn, but it's the turn after that really matters, right?
Yeah.
And by having this high pressure, it is hard for the Orcs to really build anything down here that is sustainable. Like, even if you don't score now, you are risking something. Not high, but you're risking something. Right. We're now getting to the point where...
I think you're seeing a blitzer dodge here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This could go wrong.
Close your eyes and pray to Nuffle. You almost have to dodge this one.
Yeah, I think you called it right. I think this is going to be... I think the Orcs will take the score on the next turn.
That's a
Ooh.
little greedy. Like, it's 50.
It's one of those ones where actually you're probably better off just leaving it, right? Just leave it there. It's probably a bit... It's probably more of a problem.
In these conditions, it's
I can see
Your
why
space.
you're tempted by the 4+, right? Like, it's almost the same as dodging out. If you get a 4+, it goes down first roll, right? But the problem is, if you get pulled in here and you're now going to pull up here, that protection down here is gone. And I think you're better, like I said, it was better off just to leave it.
Yeah, you've now got an opportunity really to get the press on.
Yeah, you
Because
can tag the ball
this mummy can now get rid of this blitzer, and that releases both the ghouls, and you've got the white, or you've got both whites available.
always uses the right player for the right job.
If the Orcs, I don't think they're gonna get sacked this turn. That's not the problem. The problem is that they can't drag it out one more turn, that they really wanted to. Unless Nuffle decides to be really, really kind here, I don't see him being able to drag it out one more turn.
Orcs just got outnumbered.
Yeah. Do you go in from here?
If this is not a knockdown, this becomes a bit more interesting.
Punched above and at the same time.
We got him to burn a reroll.
Yeah.
That's that busted one.
Yeah, but it's just a KO. Who's pointing?
Odds on him getting his P45 at the end of the season.
That's not optimal.
See, he's got a follow up there.
Yeah.
I'd have thought he's got a follow up there.
Wow, that Orc is definitely doing his lion's share of the work there. Wow.
Nice.
Yep.
He's not going to re-roll that.
Yes.
He does re-roll it. Interesting.
Yeah. He sort of needs it for.
This is a really, really big problem now.
Yeah.
Because it's sidestep as well, isn't it?
Yeah. That ain't optimal.
This ain't great.
And the guards are there. Everything needs to dodge to do anything.
This ain't great.
Just hoping for a +3 on the thrower. I need to get out.
Yeah. The only problem is there's been so many dice going Ugnash way that I almost foresee that dodge going bad, even with the reroll. Nope. And the green make it.
Did he get a prime? No, he didn't get a prime.
No. I think maybe he got an assistant coach or something.
Close. Two of the Orcs back, and the Undead players still off.
Yeah. That is more a thing.
Be very surprised to see Bomber. Yeah.
Yeah, Bomber's not gonna make an appearance here.
Well, this has already blown up my prediction.
In what way?
But Galentio did exactly what he needed to do.
Yeah.
2 turns is absolutely enough for this ghoul.
I think the biggest concern if I was in Galentio's shoes right now is the only one reroll.
Yeah, I'd clocked that as well. And gone, oh, if you like don't pick up the ball here, like that's possibly you not scoring. It's probably you not scoring.
This is not. Yeah, it's got sure hands. Just, you know, like, why not?
Yeah, you just getting that 1 in 9. You just getting that 1 in 9 if you don't pick up the ball.
But doesn't he have ability?
Yeah, he's a 2+.
He is a 2+. Sure hands.
Do you not? Are you picking up the ball with him though? Are you putting him deep to go and get the ball?
No, semi.
Ball goes deep. If the ball goes, you want him in scoring range, right? So
Yeah,
you're not
yeah,
going to pick up the ball
but
with that ghoul. Sure.
Scoring range is here. So I just need to be within that range if I go modest forward slightly, right? So around here, I would maybe put it a little bit more towards the middle, but potato around here, that sort of space where you can get to where you need to go in here. I'm gonna try over here. I'm a little bit confused by this, I must admit. Oh no, they're moving over now. Okay. Yeah, that's too deep for me. I would have had the soft ghoul down here to do the dirty work from the back line if it ended up being needed.
Today, the length of the game is completely
Is that...
unpredictable.
Whoa, wow. That changes the math a bit.
That's horrible. That's horrible.
Oh, yes.
From an orc perspective, that's horrible. Because actually, that kick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Rush. That kick, and that's it. He's got a hand off.
Yeah.
That's really unfortunate for the orcs.
And
He seems a little stunned, doesn't he?
seems like the
Because now
orcs
it's
have...
that ghoul is now going to be the scoring threat, whereas the where the ghoul had been left, it wasn't the scoring threat. He was not going to be the player that was going to score.
No.
So you're then looking at probably the other ghoul.
They must have glue on their fingers.
It's almost like at this
Whereas
point,
this
like,
player is now going to waltz down somewhere to like the 6-yard line, and then just sit there, and it'll just merrily waltz its way through and score.
yeah.
It reminds me of the famous story of Nurgling and the
Really
Great
disappointed from an orc's perspective.
This time, no miracles.
Feels slightly cheated, right?
Yeah, 100%.
But I think you should almost, even as the undead player here, you should
That's a good choice for
create a scoring threat so at least the orcs have something to deal with.
That's probably what he's going to do with this other ghoul.
Yeah. I
And the
know that
frenzy's
it
on
will.
the other side as well.
Yeah.
So he can almost kind of attack the sideline with impunity.
No, I don't like that.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Come on, guys, together.
So if we had gone for... I know it would have been in a high-risk position, but it would have forced the orcs to pick a side. Now the orcs haven't picked a side. Neither have the undead. But you don't have scoring threat.
Yeah, do you screen here? Do you just screen and...
Yeah, I was just thinking that. Do you press or do you screen?
I would scream because, like, you're not scoring a touchdown anyway, so I don't see, other than I'll lose a lot of my pieces
There's
going
only
up the
one
field.
word to say about this ball.
Not a word, Jim. A sound.
Is that another? Wow, that's another
Elf.
one.
Ah, we called that Nuffle's
That's
kiss.
helpful.
Oh, definitely.
I mean, it's nice he's basically left 2 deep safeties.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
Might bring up the other 2 players here and just kind of create a bit more of a
These needs to be
bit more of a
closer
threat.
to the middle.
Yeah,
Just
I mean,
one
if they're
more.
1 square further in,
Yeah.
both of them, they're more likely to help out on the other side, right? And you're not giving up anything on the other side. In fact, you could bring them 2 squares in, and they're still dangerous.
Yeah, I like to have one spare so I can go down and up if I need to.
5 gold pieces says he gets kicked in the face first.
But yeah. Like, this is definitely... Yeah.
Galentio needs a knockdown here, though. He needs to put a player on the deck.
I think he's going to go down this side. This is the weaker side. You don't also
I
need
don't
to...
think there's a guarantee he scores. I really don't think there's a guarantee. I think
No.
he needs to be more aggressive on the last turn.
Yeah.
See that? That's...
And that's not helpful.
No. But you can't rule him up.
No, yeah.
This player likes to be well
And that's not helpful either.
That's not helpful either.
No. Well,
Intimidation is the key. It was one of my
yeah.
strengths when I was
Now you're in trouble.
So that I think it's obvious where he wants to put the ball. He wants to go and put it on that square, on that square sort of to the right behind the mummy as we look at it.
Yeah.
So that the mighty blow guard blocker, sacrificial lamb.
Need to put something that can drag out at least some of the attention.
Thing is though, is you can't go and put that player now in that space that I'm talking about, because that ball carrier is going to get sacked there. And this is now why I think this has become a really hard score.
Yeah. Oh, I'm gonna go over
I
here.
think there's going to be any action
Yeah.
at all in this game.
Oh,
I might
that's
see something happen,
don't
very
like that.
risky.
but I'm just going to go and watch Game of
Do
Gnome
not like
instead.
that. This blocks here, and it's off the field. And it does not have sidestep. Take this in here, that one in here, and then just hope and pray that it survives in there.
I really wonder what's going through Galentio's head at this point.
I think he is cursing that one didn't go down,
Yeah.
and then trying to
Assume everything is always a push.
yeah. Oh,
Interesting. Interesting.
Wow.
wow, that's a lot braver than I would have been.
How's the missus, Bob?
ex-missus, Jim. But that don't mean I miss her.
Wow.
She
You
took
don't know the
everything
plan
from
here,
me,
folks.
including my family's secret gun.
As you might notice from the wow.
Don't forget,
No, on a double one. Oh my god.
Huge. Huge. That ghoul is on the floor. You're blitzing the
Yeah.
one that's standing up, and you are pounding the living daylights out of that ghoul with
Yeah.
any available piece, and it doesn't matter what one
Like I'll say,
at this stage.
if that didn't have sidestep right, I was serving this. But I can't.
This is where grab actually becomes so useful.
Oh yes. Yeah, I was always thinking like there was a handoff there, like.
Oh
Picking up.
dear.
Wow. Mhm.
speak, Jim. Let
Well, the
alone
fat lady isn't singing completely yet. She's warming up, but apparently Nuffle has a little bit more.
injured.
It's another removal and a regen.
Yeah.
No, he
This
regenerated
is
himself, Bob.
why I don't like Regen.
The ghoul, the movement 9 ghoul can still score.
Wow.
It's going to result in a 4+. That's probably good enough.
I think that's
That,
not
that's good enough.
He's whistling for
no.
awesome.
Because now that player has to go backwards and you have to pass.
Yeah.
And someone else now has to pick up the ball. That's a good block. Yep, you want that.
Here. You're gonna have to.
Okay, so at this stage, are you then dodging that line orc and fouling? Because I am.
Yeah. It looks like he is as well. Oh, no.
I am. Yeah, I'm gonna take the attrition that I can get. He needs to stop doing pushes if he wants to have this to go anyway. That will help.
It's really, it's gone really close again.
Why? Ooh, why did we follow?
He's blocked his own route off there.
Yeah.
But with no re-rolls, are you throwing the ghoul at it? You can't save it if it dies. And that is your legitimate option to score in the next half.
Yeah, I think it was the right call. You try to push the ball, see if you could get it to bounce to the other side, so to speak.
Yeah.
Well, that wasn't elves, but that was a very interesting half, and the sort of half of Blood Bowl that I like, actually.
The last couple of turns was fun. Well,
that's big for Ugnash to get out of that
yeah,
timeout. That's big.
He shouldn't have. No way. He should go out of that.
No. I think
Well, it just goes to show that because Galentio used a couple of re-rolls in enforcing the score early, and it counted for those 3 turns.
Yeah.
As we said on the preview stream yesterday, I think the two things that have made the difference was the knockdown on the non-knockdown on turn 7, was it?
Yeah.
And then the previous turn not being a bit more aggressive and forcing the issue.
Yeah.
And that's a really, really tiny thing. It's so tiny.
Oh yeah. But
it's just made the difference to being able to score.
Yeah.
You could have even, as Galentio, you could have gone, do you know what, I'm going to play this as a 2-turn offense.
I think he should have done that.
Not
at
take
least
3.
Because what's likely about happen is that the Orcs would have had to react to that goal, even though they might down it and everything, but they would have to put so much energy into it that they can't protect both sides at the same time, because they would sort of have to commit to one of the sides. With being that passive, the Orcs basically got to wait another turn to commit to either side, and by then Galentio had to show his hand. Oh, interesting.
The attacker has an assist.
So Russia's just became more challenging.
Yeah.
Looks like the players have finally remembered we're not playing
If
soccer.
my
It would be
numbers-
interesting if that was the Orcs drive. I think with a movement 9 ghoul, I don't think really that comes into play.
No. I think it actually more hurts the Orcs here at the moment.
That player is a visceral death machine.
That's the even numbers on the field, right? Yeah.
Yeah, 10v10 now.
Yeah. That keeps
That
getting...
AV9 Black Orc is getting beaten up a bit.
I would love to see the statistics of how many blocks that player has been exposed to.
to get rid of him next seat. Well, the next time Ugg does a cat meet, that player's going.
He's definitely
What's that?
earned his goal.
Mm.
Rolling on the ground in agony, Jim.
It's interesting with redraft, you can also temporarily retire players in
Oh,
the attempt to fix that bust.
lovely.
Now I don't know whether that will come in redraft, but if it does, that also creates a very interesting conundrum because you can't take, so you can temporarily retire players, but you can't exceed your positional limit. So if you have a temporarily retired Black Orc, you can't then replace a Black Orc. But say if you have a really good one that gets busted, and you go, I'd quite like that one back. So do you know what? I'll retire it for the season. Maybe you've got three games left of your season. You can choose to retire it, and again, it's the same as what we talked about on the pre-season show. It's you'll roll your Apo, or you'll roll for a D6, 4+. The stat bust goes down to a niggle. You add 1 if it's an apothecary. I had a really nice wood elf catcher I managed to heal an agility bust on tabletop with that rule. That was
makes
sweet.
it a lot more interesting.
The redraft just is
Pass no amateur.
really good.
Only a pro amateur player.
Ew, wow.
Ooh.
And it was a wish. Ooh, and the mummy goes down.
I was just about to say the bomber seems a little deep, but then it worked.
It's fine. I was going to say that the bigger problem is you. Yeah,
A lot of 5s in that.
not really running that, are you?
Nah.
We are apparently.
You are.
Balls would struggle to dodge through that.
Crush it.
Wow.
You might as well now. You committed. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're burning a reroll to dodge him out, you're not rushing that.
I don't get why we did that though, but it might be something.
It's just
I'm
put
not saying.
pressure on the ball carrier.
Yeah, but the Undead has nothing left other to do this turn than
This player
clear that
likes
all.
to be well assisted in a fight.
Like
They push them back.
the
I
Undead
guess
just.
it's the blitz being
Just
used,
take
maybe.
blitz.
Well, it
I
takes
suppose.
blitz,
Oh dear.
yeah.
I hope that player has
And we're back to pushing the ball again. There's a lot of pushing going on tonight.
Barely speak, Jim, let alone write.
It's not helpful that the mummies are together.
No, I would have gone more deep with this.
Unity is strength.
Just be like, fuck it. I don't need to be up here.
He's now as free as a fart in a thunderstorm.
That's what it's that. That's 3. That's good. So bomb here. I would have kept the ball far away until I cleared this, and once that's cleared, I would then go up the field.
Nuffle must be holding him up.
Yeah.
Because right now the
Overall, a good turn. That's. I mean, not a terrible turn, but you really want to get rid of one of these orcs now.
yeah, because you're starting to lose the attrition one, like at least in the field.
I don't know what you guys think, but I get the sense that Ugnash has got a bit more of a positive mindset, and Galentio's almost caught in two minds with each move that he's making.
Yeah,
I wonder whether the fact that the last 2 turns on the first half are still playing on his mind.
Yeah, potentially. It started there, didn't it? Because he was really controlled, and then those last 2 turns. Maybe it's the timeout. It's funny, this game. It can do little things to you, can't it? With each event.
Oh, the mindset of like what you're playing with is very much key to whether you're winning or losing. And I think you're definitely right. I think if you look at the actions done by Galentio up to basically the touchdown, they were more controlled, more aggressive, and from there on they've been a little more passive, and he's been punished for it. Did he intercept
So he'll
it?
use his star player rule here, and he'll blow it up in his face. Didn't break the armor, so that's helpful.
I think Galentio is more happy that it didn't down his mummy, because that means that he's still stuck in there.
Yeah. Means you can do something, I suppose, on the next one. That'd be really fair coming forward while Bomber's sitting back there still.
Yeah, that was the white Mathemus, I think, called that.
Spike
At least to my
magazine.
telling. But I also think
Just
like
need,
it's,
There's only one
just
word
need
to
something.
say
You need something to break your way here.
yeah, because he's not really making much headway on getting to the actual bomber.
I mean, it's helpful you've got the stand firm.
We're too close. There's a bomb here.
It's just the fact that because they're together, if they both go down, that's a turn getting them back up. You've essentially stunned them.
Yeah.
This isn't going to be pretty.
I
You
don't
want
know.
a two square gap between them, really.
I don't know if he's just hoping for it to misfire. Like, if that's the plan more or less at this point.
I mean, Ug's going to keep throwing the bomb until basically he rolls a 1.
Oh yeah. And then the question is, do you reroll?
2 re-rolls?
Not with 2.
Probably not. I don't think Galentio's knockout rolls have been particularly brilliant. I'd expect those, at least 2 of them to come back next time.
Yeah.
That skeleton's getting blocked again.
Yeah.
Still lives. By his good friend, the armor broken Black Orc. They having a competition to see who can stay on the pitch the longest.
As turns go, I am liking Galentio's position. Ooh, less and less.
Right, now they can put the heat on.
Mm-hmm. No. Yeah, and then bomb, and then see next turn. You are removing the undead options slowly and choking them out of the match at this point.
There goes the ball spinning above the field. But
Another hit.
blocked out of the air like an overripe.
Did he just hit the... Yeah, another removal. Jesus Christ. Then it becomes...
Zombies come back though.
Yeah,
The zombie's going to come back, but
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 players on the field. That is the problem.
I mean the bomber's got rid of 1, but I don't think he's. We know the threat he is, and I don't see the undead have made a conscious effort to get to him.
No, it's very passive, isn't it?
Yeah. It's been moved to the bomber. Yeah.
That's not good.
No. Not as much as you should have gone for that.
Really want that one going down.
Oh dear.
Starting to become almost impossible now.
Yeah. Problem is, this is starting to get to be no. Oh. Yeah. But all those pushing is just not happening either.
No.
Push him up here. Yeah. Damn, the dice is not going Galentio's way.
2, 4, 5, rush. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Could lob bomber in on the front of that cage, I think.
Indifferent, Jim.
On this next turn.
Ask me again when there's more blood on the field. Yeah.
So,
And that's done, of course. Jesus. Yes.
don't try that kind of move.
When it rains, it pours, right?
Yeah. What's the sequencing here? Do you risk the bomber first?
At this stage, when you're so in control as the Orcs, you are so in control. Even if the bomber goes off here, I still think it's really hard for the undead to score, because both of the mummies are now locked up in the middle
Yeah, I was gonna
with
say,
one
like,
player,
if you
and
just
the
take
Orcs
this,
can now just shove themselves in. Bomber doesn't actually need to do anything now. You can just choke them.
Are they dancing or fighting?
especially
follow,
if
I
you
would say.
keep the difference between one is pushing and one is downing, right? And removing. Oh my.
That's why I love this game.
Just
Well,
an MNG.
Yeah, but it's more at this point. It's like even if you get the miracle and you get the 1-1 touchdown, like how do you get back from here?
Well, you only need to just try and extricate this Orc with tackle and leave him somewhat deep.
You've got the other covering tackle orc sweeper.
At this stage, if I'm Galentio, I'm actually worried that I lose the ghoul.
The ball is high. Interception coming.
Bomber just doing his bomber thing. Just gotta go down here and just hope a miracle.
He's close.
So that's all you got left at this point.
I do wonder what the reaction to. I mean, do you think Bomber has changed this half, or do you think there are things that could have been done?
It's chicken.
We
For
just
me,
think
it's
it's
chicken or egg. I think it's forced Galentio to be far more passive.
Will the big one manage to lay
But then who knows? He might have set out to play that way.
I should probably
Yeah.
say something meaningful to all our Cabal Vision viewers.
Yeah,
But he's been
because-
passive, and he's blocked up his players as well. It's
the problem. I think it's more like Galentio went into the second half with 10 players, right?
yeah. The removals have been
And then from there, he's just been kept being like having fewer pieces on the field, which made him go defensive, more passive, and each time he's more or less like he got pushes with the mummies.
the dice.
There's not really anything going guns with like dice wise at the moment, right?
Right there, right job.
That's a nice one dice block, though.
Yeah, but he really needed to get that one away. And it's like,
I wonder whether you could have almost dackered here.
Smells weakness.
yeah, I think dagger would have been better. Like if either you go in for him or you stay far away, and Galentio sort of ended up being exactly feeding him more or less good targets every turn, right? Now we're gonna go for the
hero play.
hero play, which I think is fair, but like, no.
I wouldn't be leaving him there.
We can't leave him there. He's gonna get surfed. Like there's one there and one there.
Well, at least I suppose he's fixed his error, and that was on a 3+ rush, folks, remember?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's no guarantee this player goes down here. This is going to be... I mean, you
25%
bring Bomber
chance?
over, I suspect. You bring Bomber over
Yeah.
to act as the assist.
Yeah.
You do not throw the bomb with Bomber.
No.
They've gone into the opponent's tackle zone. Should be good.
What is that? 55% times 2? Yeah, there's almost in the
They'll be
field.
praying for double push here.
Yeah.
Double push or push both down.
First
That's
push.
acceptable.
That is rerolled. I guarantee you. And there it is. No.
Unlucky.
Yeah, and a removal. That's the match.
That player
Oh, okay. It's only a stun. Only a stun.
Still probably the match.
Yes.
Because you'll just see the Orcs come in, throttle the ball,
Can't argue
and
with
then
that call, can you, Bob?
No.
the Undead are done.
So
That player's a
stun
little
just
short.
doesn't really.
Oh, no, my
Like
mistake.
if it hadn't been stun, like a 4+ pick up, if there would still been a chance, right? But because of the stun, there's just no way. Because now the orc gets
Yeah.
turned to, let's call it readjust. And then it's over.
Nuffle's just deserted him the
Yeah.
second half.
The player's fist is approximately the same size as his entire opponent.
Yeah, I think it's a combination.
Another
Ug's
player
played
on the
well
run.
though. He has played
Opponent will be
well.
spitting
Definitely.
teeth about this.
How many games though do we
That
see
player's
kind
earned
of
their wages today.
decided in this manner when we actually watch them? It is quite interesting to kind of go, you know, a lot of things just kind of happen in the first half, and then the outcome of the first half really defines kind of the second.
Yeah, we were talking about it last night, wasn't it? These small actions, they can snowball
Oh yeah.
and multiply throughout the game.
And I think
'Cause,
that's yeah.
I was going to say you go for that and you score on in that first half after doing all of that really good work, and it was really good work by the Undead.
Yeah.
Galentio definitely won the first half.
Yeah.
Up until turn 7.
Yeah.
You know, to use cricket as a you know, win the morning session, as they would say.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it's after lunch. The Orcs have come out and they've got double hundreds.
Yeah. I think also again with the pushes here though on the orc side now, I think Galentio when we look at the stats afterwards will have a lot of pushes. And I think it's also like sort of the classic where it's like
He's not looking. Get in there.
if the KOs had been injuries instead,
Yeah.
that Galentio would have had the numerical superior, but with the only
It's just going
being
to be hard. I think it's going to use Bomber to foul the ghoul here.
yeah.
He's too big of a threat to leave where he is.
Yeah. Even if you want to be a gentleman, you have to do it. Because it's still a viable threat.
They are only pixels at the end of the day. I think the favourite thing I've read all season so far. It's only been a short season, but it's Little Wing saying to his division, "Pixel murder can commence,"
Yeah.
which is one of my favourite phrases I think I've ever read.
Yeah. I think
Doesn't
Ugnash is
get
happy with
seen
that.
either. Yeah, that's essentially it.
Yeah. I think it's
I think
basically
we can probably call it. Congratulations, Ugnash, for winning your first UKBBL title. It is thoroughly deserved.
yes.
Been a stalwart of the league for many seasons.
He's now as free as a
I don't
bark
think
in
there's
a
many. I
thunderstorm.
don't think there's many coaches who would feel aggrieved at the fact that Ugnash has won a title.
He can move freely.
The removal just far too late.
Classic, right? You start getting hot dice when it doesn't matter anymore.
You just run this over into the corner, and you blitz the white.
It's gonna see. I would put him up here.
Just go and bring that blitzer over there. Yeah. And then you just blitz the white with the thrower.
Clear.
That's a good choice for this play. Push the stronger player back. That'll do.
After the feed
Hero
back.
zombie throw into the end zone for
I-
1-1.
I was going to say, like,
Anybody?
I was going to say, I think if you could roll exactly what you wanted all the time, I think there's still touchdown potential, but it is
Gathering around that
very hypothetical.
No, it's over now.
around us.
Yeah, I think that's it.
Because although you can get the ball free, technically there's no one to throw it now.
Yeah. Yeah. I would say I'm sort of happy that it actually didn't kill it here because it feels a bit dirty. Though I would not mind it being gone.
Oh, zombies have no passing stat anyway, so it wouldn't have mattered.
Did not know
I
that.
think he knows it's a bad squad. They need to fire the player that can't dodge, or have him assassinated.
So the zombie can't reach. Mummies can't reach. The only one that can reach is this one. So we
So
have
you'd
to
have to
there.
you'd have had to have blitzed with the zombie and then thrown with the white after rushing on 3 pluses with a single reroll. It's not happening, folks. I don't think.
Pretty risky action.
Definitely not happening now. GG.
Well, I do hope those people who joined us for this stream will hopefully be able to get
Always uses
both of these coaches on the stream afterwards.
Definitely.
Have enjoyed our
So what are your
our
closing
final.
thoughts on this game, Paul?
Well, it wasn't the greatest match I've seen, Jim.
Congratulations to Ugg.
This game is
Yeah.
Very, very well done.
handled obscurity.
Yeah, played really well in both playoff games actually.
Nope.
Hello.
Hello, freaking hate bombers.
I don't blame you.
We were
I am.
using a cricket analogy, which I'm not sure how much cricket you watch, Galentio, but it was definitely you won the morning session in the first half for the first 7 turns. You've done exactly what you needed to in getting the Orcs to score, and then just I think a non-knockdown at one point, and the game kind of never really went back the Undead's way. I don't know what your appraisal was of kind of the two halves, as it were.
I think I was too conservative in my first attempt to score.
Yeah.
I could have put more players up front already, even though it was a timeout. But I was kind of afraid of the blitzers we tackled, with good reason. They kind of screwed up my goals. So, well, it is Blood Bowl. Like, not gonna.
Well played, Galentio. It was pretty tense all the way through.
Oh yeah, the moles didn't help in the second half.
No.
No, the bomber definitely earns that outrageously high fee that he commands.
Yeah.
You
I
and
have
all
to say
pigeons.
though, Ugg, I don't.
Hi, Phil. You're right.
Yeah, I'm very well. I don't think there'll be one person in the UKBBL who will dislike the fact that you've won a title finally after so many seasons of playing with us. You've finally got one, so well done.
I don't know whether it's a reward for persistence or sheer bloody mindedness and stubbornness, but yeah, got there in the end.
Yeah, and not with your beloved Skaven. You had to
No, yeah, I had to
dirty
sell out.
greenskins in order to get a title.
Yeah, do you know what? And I've realised through the process that I have absolutely no shame.
Maybe next time you can go and win it with a proper race.
Maybe. Anyway,
just-
I'm taking a season off now, so I think that's well earned in the end.
Yeah, same.
Yeah. Oh well, I do desperately hope that. Well, you've both said you'll be back in the next season. And the league is much better for having both of you in. So I do hope that your schedule's clear to remake an appearance straight away. Even if it does mean we have to see that horrible ghoul again, it would still be nice to see it back.
I have to say that when the ghoul made its break down the wing, and one of the other coaches had been saying to me in the week, it's all set up one of these days, because Crag, who's my movement 7 blitzer, has had so many goes at him over the seasons and not quite done the job. And then it opened up, and I thought, this could be the time. But we still couldn't get it, and even Bomber decided to jump all over him, and he's still in one piece.
Yeah, there was a couple of points where when the ghoul went down actually on turn turn 7.
Yeah, that one.
But I think all of us are screaming at the screen, going, "Foul him! Foul him! Get him off! Kill him!" And it wasn't from a fact of pure hatred of that ghoul. It was just the fact that he's so good, and there's a free opportunity essentially there. And I think possibly you might have gone for it had you have.
If it had been Lewin, I think Lewin wasn't on in the first half. I know Galentio tends to save him a little bit like I used to with Scrat back in the day, where you save him for offense and then whatever comes after. So if it had been Lewin, I might have been tempted. I mean, if somebody had switched on for the last 3 turns, then they obviously feel like I'm a 16-turn fouler. I very seldom foul, but I felt like the occasion and the target demanded it.
100%. Just to kind of give Tector's question. So yeah, both Ugg and Galentio are freezing their teams for this season. I think it's just they've got a lot going on in their schedules.
I mean, my view has been, if I was away for 1, maybe 2 weeks, then I'd probably stick around. But I'm going to be missing at least 4 match days in the next kind of 3 months. And I would like to think that at least I'm a tough team to beat. And then to just dole out kind of 4 lots of 3 points feels like it could skew the division. So rather than do that, everybody might as well avoid me.
Yeah. Well, hopefully you've got some space in September, because as Waldorf's just said in the chat, that's a World Championship ticket that you've also just won.
Oh shit! I'd forgotten about that.
Yes, yeah. So well done. You are going to the World Cup to
Well deserved.
represent.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I think I went to the first online one and managed to get to the last 8 before being royally turned over by Dark Elves. So I've never been back since. But there you go.
You're going back now.
I wonder what race I'll play.
Yeah.
I just hope this game shows the reason I campaigned so much to ban bombers.
Well, I have to say that the season as a whole, I had a really tough decision to make to meet my cap kind of this time last year. And I picked a perfectly good level 6 thrower on the basis that I can afford to bring in a level 1 thrower. And the line that I'd got at that time was there to do its job and stop people getting at my thrower. And so if it did its job well, I could have a low-level ball carrier and not suffer. Now, I can't say that I've sailed through the season thinking that was the perfect decision, because I haven't. Because there were some times when I really did question my own sanity for doing it. But I think overall it's paid off, because Utek has done an absolutely great job with far fewer skills than the thrower that I had last season. So, yeah, it's done the job. So I think, yes, I've had help from the likes of Bomber and Fungus along the way, but only in these last 3 or 4 games. And the rest of it has been the team, which has done really, really well.
Yeah, I think most people would agree that Bomber is outrageously underpriced.
Even I would. I've suggested. I think if you could have it that price for the likes of pure Goblin teams, for instance, I think that's fine. Because that's what a goblin team is all about. It's the madness of it. And they should be rewarded with something. But then you either double or triple the cost to any other team, or some kind of mechanic like that. And I know that they're reviewing the rules for yet another version of the game sometime soonish. And I rather suspect that Bomber will get some kind of treatment. I just hope that they don't price them out from the pure Goblin teams.
I mean, I don't know how they will fix it. There's a number of options they could do. They could just take off Accurate, or they could make him more expensive. I mean, if you took off Accurate, he's probably worth 50k, just for a bit of a pop.
Yeah.
But it's the Accurate, I think, that makes it the problem, because then it's 3+. I can't remember if he's got pass as well.
No.
So I mean,
no. But unless he gets a 1 and he blows himself up, you kind of take it that, okay, if the odd bomb is going to fly off in a random direction, so be it. Like it's done today. I know, Galentio's been quite vocal on the forum about banning him or whatever, and I get where he's coming from that. But, the policy, at least to date, has been not to ban players, or particular star players, which I do tend to back most of the time. I have to say that over the last 2 seasons in particular, I've faced Bomber quite a few times, and touch wood, so far I've never lost to him. So there must be some ways of stopping him. I mean, you have to just go for him and get in his face.
I also think Bomber is one of those where what you actually roll also is key. I think you used him like 6 times this match. Let's just say that statistically, right?
Yeah.
But he hit every time. Like even
yeah.
if all of them had been 2+, that's not statistically right. And it was not all of them was 2+. But
yeah,
that really makes a huge swing. Also, there is we commented on a little bit like things when you are facing against Bomber, just like the Wizard, you shouldn't clump your players together and stuff like that, and keep distance. And stuff like that.
You're absolutely right. Yeah, I mean, I was looking for the little knots of players where I could. It was a case of targeting somebody, and then how many other enemy players are there around him and stuff like that. And you go off the numbers with it, and just hope that he hits the target, like you say. Yeah. So I am going to petition the commissioners for season 57 in honour of him, to make him an honorary member of my team for all time. But I rather suspect that they'll say no.
Well, I can say that there's one commissioner that will be saying no. I can't speak for the other 2.
I would be surprised if anyone says yes.
Honestly,
buy a lot of people a lot of drinks.
Honestly, I think it's a problem, not a problem of the Bomber itself. It's a problem of matchup, because slow teams suffer even more from Bomber, because they can't overreach because Bomber, and they can't clump up, which they like to do against Bomber.
Absolutely.
And it's an Orc team that already gets something that changes the entire game and makes me play much more passively. And when Bomber works, like I have a slight curse against Bombers. I don't know why, but yeah, as you can see.
So from your team, Galentio, because you've obviously got a very well developed team, and obviously Arga's spoken very briefly about kind of cap decisions. It looks like you're coming up to a bit of a when you next to your cap. I'm going to assume that this is coming back in season 57, but it looks like you have some pretty brutal decisions to make in terms of how you meet the cap, because you've got some wonderful players in there. At just the moment, it doesn't look like you can keep them all. So do you have any plans of what you might be doing? That's to you, Galentio, by the way.
Galentio, make it easy on yourself and get rid of Lewin and that horrible mummy.
Oh, if I play again, the defensive mummy cannot be in the budget. Like, it's impossible.
I am actually intrigued, because I was toying with having the defensive skill myself. Have you found it to be much use? Because I kind of find I play tested it a little bit, admittedly only against the AI, but to just gauge its effectiveness. And I've kind of been left very 50-50 on it.
It's worth it if it's on strength 5. I think on strength 4 is questionable. Not a skill that you should I need to take defensive on a strength 4. But if it's a strength 5, like if you had a troll with, let's say, block, guard, defensive, stand firm, it's a headache already.
Yeah, yeah. I think Archangel got it right. I heard part of what you were saying, mate, about. And this is how I play against most big guys: is just try to isolate them with a line orc, and then plow into the rest of the team. And I didn't quite get it right all the time, but I was quite happy with most of it on that basis. And of course, that's where the defensive skill becomes null and void, because if it's you against one other player, then it just is what it is.
It's another very interesting debate about how the game is currently designed, and a skill that I think was initially put in to try and help the agility teams has ended up actually most benefiting the teams with big guys, and so that might be something that they look at. I'm not sure how you fix it. There's some thoughts about, well, do you make it work on both turns? But some people then think it would be massively overpowered.
Oh, without a doubt, I would have taken it if that was the case.
But I mean, it is interesting that it's on the agility tree, and yet I see any elves take defensive.
I wondered about that. I wondered whether any elf I hadn't looked enough at the other elven teams just in the UKBBL to, because at 20k and a primary skill, it's cheap enough to experiment with, but at 40k for certainly for my team, it was just too expensive. I'd also had doubts about its usage. And yeah, I think you're right, Galentio, to put it on a strength 3 piece, even one with stand firm, so it could be nuisance value. It just makes him a big target. And well, you saw yourself how I tend to play my blitzers off the line anyway. Most of the time, it just didn't sum up to me. That's why I went for Frenzy in the end.
I think I was going to say, if you're playing like dwarves, I think dwarves is the only one where defensive makes sense on. Not anyone else with strength 3. But I find it sort of interesting that actually even like strong arm is a strength skill, but it supports throwing. So I find it. I find it sort of okay that there's a skill on all trees that is sort of like, it shouldn't be here, but it's still here. So that when you do randoms, it's sort of like there is something you want to avoid, right? So in that sense, I think it makes sense, but it really doesn't help the agility skills. That is definitely not what it does.
I mean, my thing would be, it's fine to have a skill on another tree that you'd want to take as a secondary for another team. I just can't think of a skill where you go, that skill is on a different tree, and that definitely is more helpful to agility teams than it is to any other. Because you could go, or break tackle's reasonably helpful because it means you get an extra dodge, but actually that's pretty helpful on an orc team, as you are demonstrating quite beautifully. So I can't think of one skill, and this is where I've said I'd like to see agility teams at a higher TV get a little more help. Lower TV, they're great, but at the mid and higher, they need a bit of help.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think, but there again, let's be honest, it wouldn't be Blood Bowl if we didn't have skills and things like that to debate over, would it?
100%. That's what makes the game so interesting, right?
Well, that, and somebody has told me that some nutter was talking about Toad in the Hole the other night.
Some culinary genius is what was talking about Toad in the Hole.
Well, I mean, I can just wander off into the sunset for a season, so I'll leave you with this thought, is the fact that, I actually agree with Phil. Toad in the Hole is quite nice.
Yeah.
Have you heard how he makes it, though?
Well, I'm less bothered about that.
No. You need to understand the whole story. We're going to do this again, aren't we, folks?
No. I'm going to save all the viewers, and I'm going to pass them on, and then you guys can talk to your heart's content about Toad in the Hole. I will save everyone here. So everyone gets to say thank you and goodbye, and then you can discuss all the Toad you want to afterwards. But it's not going to be on stream.
Right, listen, I'm going to go. So I think there's a second celebratory cup of tea in the offing for me. I don't know that they're listening, but thanks to the Sir for running a great premised season this season. Obviously, thanks to all the opponents that I played that made it so interesting, and thanks to the commissioners once again for steering the good ship UKBBL through, well, not through turbulent waters. I think they've been pretty calm, but you still need to have a direction, don't you?
Thank you very much, Hug.
No
Thank you.
problem. Right, speak to you soon.
Yep, we look forward to seeing you hopefully very soon.
Yeah. Okay. Bye, everyone.
Cheers. Bye. Cheers, guys.
Thanks,
as well.
Galentio. Again, hope to see you again very soon.
You will probably be in another final yet again soon. You definitely deserve that.
Yeah, I think I've accomplished what I needed in UKBBL. If I return, I'm gonna return to just because I like the league, I like the people involved, not because of conquests or anything. So
Yeah, we need another opportunity to be able to kill that
like
ghoul.
if like I'll come back full strength if Tomb Kings are in the season. I promise that.
I hope you'll be back regardless at some point. We'd definitely like to have you here.
Let's see. After the summer, I'll still have to check, but I hope to have time, but you'll never know. I have Nuffle and everything. And tabletop minis to paint nowadays. So that's the thing.
Yeah. Well, thanks very much, Galentio. It's been a pleasure this season.
Yeah. Cheers, guys.
Cheers. And I will also say goodnight and thank you for everyone who's still with us and save you a discussion about Toad in the Hole. You can join Phil on the UKBBL Discord if you really want to hear it. Or
I'll
send
have
him
that debate with anybody, folks.
and send him a mail about it.
Come over to the UKBBL and we can talk about Toad in the Hole.
Cool. Little Wing, any final comments?
Good night, guys. Thank you. Good night, chat.
Good night. Bye-bye.